You have your homestead income goal in mind. You have your product idea in mind. And you have your customer, your ideal customer in mind. Now let's test your product. That's what this episode is going to be about, how to go about testing your product idea on your ideal customer. Welcome to the Homesteading for Beginners podcast. This is Mona Weathers, your host. If you have not already done so, make sure that you join the Cultivating Cash Flow Challenge. If you're listening to this real time, August 18th is when we started. We officially start on August 23rd, so you still have time if you're listening to this real time as this episode comes out. But I just wanted to make sure that you know that it's starting real soon. And if you're listening to this in the future, way in the future, I will have another Cultivating Cash Flow Challenge. So just stay in my world, and it'll probably be more like 6 months from now. But I will have other challenges. Challenges are amazing and they're great. Every challenge that I've ever done, I've always improved in some way. So I just really highly encourage you to join the challenge, be as involved as you can. Even if you're there just a fly in a wall, you do not have to participate if you don't want to. But I do think you should participate because challenges really can just catapult you from being stagnant to actually being moving forward. And you really want to change and start making changes now and start having ideas now if you really want 2024 to be like a really good year to improve your financial situation or to, fund your homesteading dreams. Whatever it is, you want to start now and not wait until the beginning of next year to be all, like New Year's new resolutions. You need mid-year resolutions for next year. So join the challenge. If you miss the challenge, that's okay. You can still I have lots of products. I have lots of things available. I have free things for you. Just go to homesteadincomeplan.com and you'll find things there. Okay, so let's get into the topic today. We are going to talk about testing your idea. So far, I've done an episode on goal setting, income goal setting, figuring out the exact amount of money that you want to generate, and then idea generation. We talked about how to come up with an idea. Then we talked about the people who you want to serve and being really clear on who it is that you want to serve so that you can create a product for that person. And now we're going to talk about testing that idea. We're going to talk about how to make sure that you're testing your idea before you just, invest so much money into it. If it's a physical product, if it's a digital product, you don't want to be wasting time creating a whole course and then realizing nobody really wanted it. And I'm going to give you some ideas on how to test out your products today. Okay, I'm going to separate this into physical products and digital products because they require different things. Okay, so if you have a physical product that you want to sell in person, you want to test that out with your local people, right? You want to test that out there first before you start trying to sell it online because there's more fees attached to things when you start selling physical products online. So you want to make sure that you're testing it out locally, even if you don't have a lot of your ideal customer around you. If you can just test out that product to a few group of people to get some feedback, it'll really serve you well for actually selling that product online as well. Okay, so you need feedback. Remember, we talked about in the last episode how you need people to tell you what they want, basically by doing research, by asking them questions over and over again. So be sure that you are, getting feedback from people locally if you're creating a physical product. If you are creating a physical product, my biggest caution to you is that you do not waste a bunch of money and, spend a bunch of money to find out that what you have really isn't going to serve the people that you thought it was. So have beta tests, okay? Have tests on a few people in your sphere, that are your ideal customer. Test on them first and see if the product actually works or if the like let's say it's a design of some sort, okay? So if it's a design of some sort, you want to make sure that it resonates with someone. So you want to make sure that people like it and they're not just like pity purchasing from you, okay? You want to make sure that people actually like it. So find people in your sphere of influence to see if you can sell it at a discount or sell it, or give it away and see the reaction. And if you find out that these people aren't actually not like putting the products up in their home or something like that, then it's not probably the best product for you to make, So if it's a design, it's really hard with art, because art for one person can be beautiful, and for another person, they could care less for it. So the idea is just that you're testing it as best you can with the people around you. Now, art is a better way to, if you can put it out there online, there's more people that might love your art. So there's definitely, people for your products somewhere, but you just have to, if you don't test it in person first, then you might be wasting a lot of time. Of course, you can take photographs and do things like, posting them on Instagram or posting the photographs in certain areas so that people can see, or videos, so that you can get testing there, okay? But if it is a physical product, okay, you really want to test the actual physical product on actual people first, because I've had things where I've purchased before from people, let's say an Etsy shop. I've purchased some things from an Etsy shop. I've gotten it back and it didn't last. It was cute. It was really, really cute, but the product didn't last. And my thought is that person probably didn't test it on anybody locally to make sure that it lasted long enough. So it lasted like it's supposed to, okay? So make sure that you're testing the product to a real person and not just posting pictures on Instagram, okay? But certainly use that tactic. Certainly use online to see if people are interested. But if you have a physical product, test it on people. Another way you can test it is by, and I'm trying to keep costs low here, right? So another way you can test it before you get a whole booth at a farmer's market and have all these products and be like, I'm spending all this money and I made all these products, spent all this time, and I don't even know if anybody likes it. You can test it by having someone else purchase it from you, either at a wholesale price and put it in their booth, if it's an event, or you can, just know that you might be not, you're doing your testing for research. So if you do have a booth somewhere, and you go in knowing this is research. I may not make any money, but I'm going to find out how people think, and if they like my stuff, if they buy my stuff. And remember, in person, you also need to make sure that you're trying to find your ideal customer as well. So don't just go to a totally random place that has nothing to do with your ideal customer and try to sell it there. You sell it to your ideal customer. You can also try to put, depending on where your house is, put a stand outside your house, see if anybody would want the products that you're making. You could just test it that way. Put a stand out there, sit out there for a while, do some kind of, make yourself interesting, be friendly to your neighbors if they're walking by, and you might get interest there, You just never know what's going to happen. But what you're trying to get out of this is their feedback. So just make sure that is your number one goal, is getting feedback from other people. So let's move on to testing your digital product. The nice thing about digital products, okay, is that they never run out. If you have a digital product like a workbook or a course or an ebook or any kind of thing like that, or templates, they don't run out, okay? So you can sell to as many people as you can reach and who want to purchase it. So that's the really nice thing. The other nice thing is you can easily edit digital products. So even though it might take you a long time to create your course or whatever, you can still edit it whenever you want and update it and make it better and relaunch it again and try to sell it again. So just remember that digital products are a totally different beast, but they are, they're much easier to get into and than physical products, in my opinion. However, it depends on if you're, if you just have nothing educational to share, that may be an area where it's harder to get into digital products. But you don't have to have education to share. You, like with templates and things like that, you can sell those as well. So how we test our digital products is similar to how we would test our physical products. We need people to give us input. So you might want to have a group of beta testers, a group of people that have gone through your course or gone through your digital product or gone through your coaching, and be able to tell you whether that was useful and that they got the outcome they desired. They'll be able to give you input and be able to tell you whether you should maybe add this or that. You really want to try to get input from those people who are beta testing. I mean, that is kind of like the agreement is like a beta tester usually gets either something for free or they get it, discounted a lot, and then they give you feedback for that thing. So just know that beta testing is just so important. Whether you have a physical product or a digital product, you need to be testing it out on people. Another way you can get feedback and test your product is that you decide what price you ultimately want on your product. So let's say it's $100. And so the first time you launch it, though, you don't launch it at $100. You launch it at $27. And then these people know that they're getting a huge discount on this product, but you can get the feedback, you can get customer testimonies, you can see what it is that is good about it. It needs to be improved, and then you can edit it because it's so easy to edit. You can package it up again, launch it again at $37 or $47, and then let more testers in. Basically, they don't know they're being testers really. They're paying for the product, and except that they know that they're getting a discount on the product. So it depends on however you want to. You can say that they're getting a discount because it's beta testing, or you can say that they're just getting a discount because you have a new product, and you give them a reason to think that they got a good deal, for being the first. And then ultimately you want to get to the point where you are at your $100 or your $97 or whatever the price is that you ultimately want to get to. And then you can see how popular it is at that point. And then you might, even the next time you launch, raise that price. But start with the price that you want in mind, start with the higher price in mind, and then test it on people lower price. So it's like a tiered thing. You just go higher as you're testing this product. I really wish I had done that with some of my things, tested it out differently, my pricing that way. So I highly recommend you trying that, because I think it is the best way to get feedback, get people purchasing. The only thing that you want to be caution is that you don't want to sell it for dirt cheap, because people think that if it's too cheap, that there's something wrong with it, and that there's no way it could be as good as it is if it's that cheap. So you might want to just, do some testing, do some research on how other people are pricing their items if they have the similar price, similar types of things. How are they pricing their items? And then kind of go by that. Don't go by like how, you don't make it dirt cheap, because for some reason people just think if it's dirt cheap, it has no value. However you decide to test your idea, just make sure that you're gathering this data, you're approaching it as though you're gathering data and not getting offended when people don't like your things or whatever. This is a business. You got to kind of get through that, thing. I know artists have a really hard time with that because they put all of their emotion into their art. But you really, if you're trying to sell a product, you really have to take it from the stance that this is data you're collecting. Pivot with whatever feedback that you get and repackage the product, or just keep going with that and find a different group of people. Maybe it is the problem isn't that your product is wrong. Maybe the problem is that the people who you're targeting is not the right people. So just pivot, reevaluate, analyze, do all the things, and then you will eventually come up with an amazing product that you can sell over and over again to people. If you have digital products, you can sell them for years and years. And I'm going to get into more on the next episodes about how to go about marketing your product and selling your product. Okay, so there's so much to learn. I'm going to help you as much as I can with these podcast episodes. So I hope this information was helpful. Please remember to follow or subscribe if you're listening on the podcast.